tempo. They want to win games early, as you said.
When I was looking at the draft,
that makes sense.
Both of these teams, they never open up with 4 and 5 at the same time. It's always a core plus one of the supports, or just even 2 cores. And this hero is completely broken.
Yes. We were riding the bus back with OG yesterday and just had a big discussion about Omni Knight. Fog was like, I knew it 8 months ago, you know? And since then, he got buffed a couple of times. It is a cleanse that provides HP, status resistance, and regen, and it's undispellable.
Wow.
Yeah, and it also gives you some magical resistance as well, 2 point something on top of it. So it's all those little things.
Strong laner, like you can play it on solo, you can play it off lane. Ramses will play Omni Knight if necessary. I love this pick from Liquid, though, because this is the traditional counter to the Omni. I don't know if it's quite as good as it used to be, because it used to be like Purification early game, Repel late game, but I'm sure it's fine. It just, you don't get the amplification of Rubik spells.
Wow.
Wait, you do? Do you get positive buff duration from your passive?
From
That's
Arcane
actually
Supremacy?
really OP.
I believe so.
That means you have more, because the other thing about Omni
Reddit
W...
will correct us if we're wrong, but I believe Arcane Supremacy applies to buffs
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, it would. And Omni W is, it already has like 80% uptime, which is something that'll probably be changed. If that's the case, then Rubik can just have it up permanently, which is rather nuts.
The thing about Rubik against Omni is there's no bad spells to steal. Like, no matter what you steal, it's still gonna be good, even if you misuse it.
Ember Spirit.
Oh, there you go.
Choice.
Both
the hard TA counter.
Both teams locking down ostensibly their mids here in the first phase, although that is a flex pick for Virtus Pro. You will occasionally see that in the hands of Ramses in the safe lane, and this is what we talked about with VP having the advantage of that hero pool mid, right? Only 6 heroes played the TA, of course, among them, 2-1 so far in the tournament. Liquid do feel the need to lock down that mid much earlier in the draft.
I already like the VP opener. I think Liquid, the TA, the Rubik is nice, but I don't like that they immediately go for the TA, because I think Ember's like one of the 2 big counters to the hero. You immediately remove the refraction, and you just get to play more aggressively throughout the game. Plus, you now have that jump potential to get on top of Rubik and ensure he doesn't.
In the mid game, like post the laning stage, Ember Spirit is so good against Templar Assassin because how the refraction works against the Flame Guard, and you have magical resistance. I mean, from the Flame Guard absorb. And you have Omni Knight behind you, who can give you status resistance and heal. So you're gonna need to have either a lot of like catch, silence, control, or you need to be looking into these prolonged fights as well, because Omni Knight can sustain so much.
Yeah, I'm glad Lacoste interjected there, because I'm very much on board with that comment. I think the idea of laning counters to TA is a little bit overrated, right? We saw the Monkey King in the hands of no one get destroyed by Wii in the mid lane, but it's the fact that Ember Spirit plays so well against what TA is able to bring in the mid game that makes it a great counter.
Until refractions or side blades gets nerfed, you don't plan on countering TA in lane. You just try and survive, but the hero has still got the same weaknesses it did for its entire history, which is it's very weak if you can get on top of her and target the Templar Assassin.
And it also has serious problems in the late game, which is what VP I think is going to go for in this series anyway. In this patch coming into yesterday's game, TA was 26-14 before the 40-minute mark, only 11-12 after.
And this is a great ban. Oracle can dispel Flame Guard, can dispel anything from Omni Knight besides Heavenly Grace.
And it forces a Darkseer consideration from Liquid,
exactly.
either a pick or a ban. And you really don't like playing Darkseer into Ember Spirit. He ends up just safe laning, gets a free level 8 by 8 minutes or something crazy like this, and then all of a sudden you're a Darkseer, you've got Arcanes, maybe a half a mech, but Ember Spirit can kill things, and you can't kill him ever.
I think the conversation needs to be, do we ban the Darkseer, or do we pick it, knowing that the disadvantage, not only in the Ember Spirit, is that VP can still pick up something like Troll. We saw what Troll was able to do partnered with the DY Disruptor against the Mind Control Darkseer.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why they banned it out, because Solo played Omni Knight as position 5. It's not as effective as position 3 because you don't have these tanky items, but still Darkseer with, Ember Spirit with Flame Guard, Iron Shell, and Heavenly Grace would be just way too strong.
All right, we expect the support to come out here for Virtus Pro.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Silencer, but that would mean it's core Omni Knight. Could be likely they just go for the Roger hero here, and Earth Spirit's not bad. I always love combining high reach support with high reach cores.
If they still want to go for Silencer right now, I think they should pick it and see one more pick from Team Liquid, because there's no way Team Liquid is getting Silencer anyway, and with position 4 being picked this late into a draft always feels good.
I tell you, we talked at the minor, Kyle, about picking Nyx Assassin in the first phase is kind of like giving yourself extra bands. To me, Omni Knight is starting to sound the same way. You look at heroes like, Liquid can't pick Batrider anymore.
Can't pick Sven.
You can't pick Sven, right?
No.
Because he's banned?
Well, the Liquid banned it second phase, yeah, but when you see that as your first pick and you're Liquid, all of a sudden the Sven opens are just off the table.
Yeah, you understand now, right, Lacoste?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
I mean, I understood before you said it, but fine. I mean,
So, Spirit Breaker still on the table for VP, the standard 5 position for solo that he just loves.
And another point is just that as the game, we've talked a lot about how the skill cap is closing, right? Unreplicable mechanics. These are what we need to focus on, I think, a lot more when we approach drafting. Whether that's damage amplification, more importantly, cleanse effects, map mobility. Cleanse effects, I think, Abaddon, LC, Omni Knight, Oracle, these heroes are always going to be meta, especially around TI, because it gives my team a tool that yours does not have. Same goes with BKB piercing disables and or peel / damage removal / is Omni Knight's GA. It's ways to kite enemy BKBs. If you can do that and the enemy team can't, it gives you a huge win condition just because of the way this item has a relationship.
I'd love
What
to
do you
see
think
some
about
Doom.
I like the
Doom or
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster.
I like the
Beast
Mind
a lot.
Control Beastmaster. Highest win percentage of the top 1,000 player hero combinations in Pro Dota all time.
If you have Soulbind and you have an axe, can you dunk 2 targets at the same time? Does that work? Or is that not a thing?
You can.
You can.
You can.
That sounds great.
It is.
I'm down for
But I
that.
don't see why it would not work if one target is above threshold kill.
Sure.
You're still gonna receive the damage.
But what I think happens is if you kill the first target, but the Soulbind target doesn't get killed, then it actually goes on long cooldown.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want to actually ult the target that doesn't die, and then you get the refresh from the target that does die on your second cast.
No, I think you want to do the other way around. You want to execute the person that is low, that actually will die.
No, but then you'll cast again, and the guy won't die. Because it's like you first one, then the second.
It's different instances, I guess.
They're thinking about this pick, and I love this more, actually, now that I think of it, because they need a little lower cooldown stun. If they go for Doom Beastmaster, they're going all in, and they need to kill someone. And against the Omni Knight, I don't think that's possible. So I love this way more.
I am a little bit more nervous about it. I think you really have to watch out for the Ramses Slark now.
Slark was picked as the last hero in all 7 games being played at this major, and he has won 6 out of those
I think you
games.
can Slark or Lone Druid. Either way, I'm already loving where VP's at in this draft. I feel like Liquid's lineup is very one-dimensional at the moment. You've got good kill potential roaming, but you kind of have to dumpster your lanes to win this game. You don't have natural tower pressure.
And it will be this. So we talked about the Mind Control Beastmaster. Ramses Terrorblade is the highest GPM on that same list of most played player hero combinations. He's at 721 GPM in a 38-23 record. All right, so that many games with Terrorblade. The next closest on the list is the Burning Anti-Mage at 681. He is historically great on this hero.
And they have the Ember.
I
to
wouldn't
cover.
mind seeing Anti-Mage here for Team Liquid.
I would. Against Ember Rasta Terrorblade?
I think AM is not great.
They need a hyper carry. They need late game insurance.
I agree. I just don't think that can be any mage.
They almost won a game against Vici Gaming with Anti-Mage where he was playing into Winter Wyvern, TB, and Silencer. So
That's way better than Ember Rasta Terrorblade. It's just ooh.
when you say way better for who?
For the AM. You can die here. And TB is still a counter to the Anti-Mage, even with the addition of the active on Spell Shield. I like that ban. I think it's perceptive from Liquid. They're expecting this to be a solo Omni Knight. But he's just going to follow Ramses around. How are you going to kill Terrorblade in this game after as a BKB? I'm not seeing it.
The pick that I can see for Liquid here is actually the Miracle Medusa. But I think that goes counter to the way that Liquid will want to play this game.
I think that, yeah. I think the Slark could have potentially done some work here, especially if you're going to last pick the bat. But personally, guys, I think VP has a perfect lineup. And Liquid's, like, think about the damage output of these 4 heroes in comparison to what VP has. If both teams fight in a Roche pit and everyone gets their spells off, like, Liquid's win condition is to kill the Omni Knight.
Just checking. You can't Meepo here. I mean, you're not going to move the same. You need
something. You need something like a Meepo to win. I feel
like a Jug. You need a good laner against the Batrider. Not many are left in the pool. Slark is gone. Phantom Lancer into Ember Spirit.
The other laners.
Ooh, it's not Meepo, but
not
it is.
Meepo, but
it is. I guess.
I don't know.
A gotcha pick.
You told me, Alan, that Liquid wanted short games.
They're not going to win. I love it. I love the draft, but I don't think that this is the tempo that Liquid needs to play to beat VP.
If Liquid win this game, like, hats off to them, because they're going to have to play.
Just like you said, they see the opener, right? They see a TA, immediately TA, like the panel's talking about. Going to the later stages of the game can sometimes be a bit difficult. I think that's immediately when you see this Terrorblade picked up. Also, they want to get more tower push. They've got the Shadow Shaman already benefiting, and now that's also a pretty damn good target to be Heavenly Graced a lot of times in the game. Sure, sometimes Terrorblades can suffer because your BKB starts getting lower durations and all that into the later stages of the game. But if you're Heavenly Graced, then these disables aren't going to be that much of an issue for you. You get Sanking Stuns, it's only going to last like 1 second, something like that. Same thing with the Rubik Lift. So I think the Omni Knight could be the real big X factor. And then we throw that on the other side. The Rubik, in particular, could also be that X factor for Liquid, because if he gets some good spell steals in this game, I think he could also have a tremendous impact.
Let's see how things go. Pasha getting a little unlucky, of course. Pasha, I believe the birthday boy.
It's a trap.
Big day for him, and
What is he?
what a day to start with. It was unless I believe on the official VP Twitter, yeah, they did shout out that it's the special day for Pasha. So
Aw, that's nice.
what a way to celebrate it, getting to play against Team Liquid in front of the home crowd, which of course is very excited to see VP play once again.
Look how much they're committing to get these bounties. He's put down 280 mana worth of Spark Grates on 2 bounty runes.
I mean, the dude abides. And GH will be able to go in and grab them elsewhere. It will be the other 2 for VP, so just a split. 2 for 2, and we'll see what sort of lanes will settle down.
He used like almost his entire mana pool. He's gonna have like 2 Spark Grates when the lane comes to it, but they're actually putting down a full tri-lane to secure this Arc Warden just right off the bat too. Look at the way they're starting. They're actually just starting in the face of the lane just to hit that Bat Rider immediately.
I mean, as the bat, Pasha, how do you sort of play the lane against this tri-lane? Can you even get a look in, or are we gonna look to sort of early creep skips being happen? Does he need a +1 down here?
He can't do anything versus the tri-lane. He's gonna need a +1 or creep skip, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're gonna bring the +1.
I'm going to change it up. That's this mid lane matchup. Ember versus TA. We've seen it so many times. These 2 heroes go head to head in the middle lane.
We've seen the TAs, for the most part, take advantage, right? You get a couple levels, you're always spamming your denies, you end up having that last hit advantage, and we've seen some of these TAs actually become like level 7 to level 4, level 5 Ember Spirit in some of the games too, but I don't think that'll be the case here with no one. He's, of course, super experienced on that Ember. And it will just be mind control left to his own devices up in that top lane versus the dual lane.
I guess for him, against those 2, should be right. Obviously going to be hard for him to really put pressure onto Ramsey's Terrorblade.
He's going to struggle. He's going to struggle.
I mean, he's got a bit of beef fries as Sanking. You could take a few pokes and punches.
He's going to have to manipulate the creep wave somehow, but Roger has boots. He's just going to chase him. He's going to have to salve to survive up here.
Oh.
And
Nice little hide there as well. Gets the full use of it off.
Very nice.
As Roger still doesn't see him from this point. That little hiding spot keeps him totally hidden.
Now he does. Mind Control's gonna try to get the wave here, but there's another Sentry on Roger too. There's one on Mind Control, but he's out of regen.
All right, the right click of a Shaman at the start, it certainly hurts. It adds up. 74. Look at that. His own little carry at the moment at this level 1.
And he gets the pull. He just ruined Mind Control's lane completely.
Roger. Perfect control. Mango popped as well, just in case Mind Control tried to come back in, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Does not look to be fun and games for Mind Control up top.
Or for Pasha down bottom. I feel like we've been having this happen more and more. These poor offlaners just really suffering. They have Solo down here to try to help Pasha, so they're gonna start to get something here at some point. They also see the pulls starting.
Seeing in the mid lane, even farm, 12 for 3, 10 for 3, but Weeha has got these 3 creeps coming in, so very close between the 2 mids. And for the most part, we'll be left as a 1v1 with this focus on the side lanes from both teams, just trying to make sure that both of their late game carries, the Ramsey's Terrorblade, the Miracle Arc Warden, get that required space in this laning stage.
Looks like no one wants to maybe try to set up for a kill on Weeha. He actually was holding skill point, and then Weeha stayed low, and he skilled the Searing Chain. So instead of just going for that slight, he wants to get that extra control. Also, so anybody can rotate in, right? A Shadow Shaman rotation with an Ember, they're going to easily kill that TA.
See Roger, another chase down. Mind control falling very low at the same time down bottom. GH and Kuro just keeping Passion Solo forced far away from Miracle.
Ramses is cutting off mind control.
He looks to be in a lot of trouble here. No spell available. That's your first blood. Ramses, who already was having the greatest amount of farm so far in these lanes, 21 and 13 on the Terrorblade, has just gone and picked himself up first blood as well, thanks to Roger.
Full free farm Terrorblade. We haven't been seeing many Terrorblades, but we know what this hero can do when you do get that amount of farm. And oh my god, mind control just gets chunked down to 100 HP as soon as he returns to the lane. Bottom, they have a creep wave coming in. You see, they blocked that hard camp. Liquid tried to de-ward it there with the sentry, but they actually weren't able to get it. So this is a double creep wave going into VP's favor as well.
Yeah, it's going to give them the levels. Help Solo and pass around a lane where they're surely struggling, as you can see, but obviously not quite as much as mind control is struggling in that top lane. Still yet to hit a single creep. 0 and 0 on the Sand King.
Hey, Strun. GH, he wants to try to prep for something here in the mid lane.
See if they can get the control required. They've got the telekinesis, but an instant TP in from Solo means the Liquid cannot go for any more. No one's fine. Salved up as well. He'll continue to be able to stand his ground, try and keep that farm even with that of the Weeha TA.
Mind control gonna get a little bit of something up top, we see, but Roger just continuously pulling and just ruining that poor Sand King's life.
I mean, is there anything the Liquid can do about that? Do you feel like, could they afford to send a support up top to help him, or do they desperately need both supports down by the Arc Warden still?
You need to defend your Arc Warden. This is the game that your Arc Warden is the most important hero in the game. TA is gonna do okay in that mid lane, like we were mentioning. It's just up to mind control to find his own thing. We see he's gonna start, I think, stacking. Yeah, stacking and then just use the Sandstorm to farm. At least he's got 2 points in it, so it's that up to 45 damage.
He's not even gonna get the bounty rune, Roger, as well, making sure the VP get the majority of the bounty runes at the 5 minutes.
He might even just put a sentry down to just put it like near the camp, so then the camp just keeps hitting mind control too if he tries to do it.
This Roger Shaman pick has just been brutal in the laning stage. We've seen it before. This hero